Because right now, we're going to get straight into Game 1 of Rw9 versus Zen, the rematch. This is part of a tournament sponsored by Rule1. Shout out to Rule1 for that. We're doing a little 4-player round robin. These guys are 2 of those 4 players, of course. The others are Moxie and Daniel. They're all going to play each other one time, best of 7. And then we're going to do gauntlet playoffs to see who comes out on top. So we might actually get a rematch and a trilogy between Zen and Rw9 if we're so lucky that they play each other again in the gauntlet playoff. But this is the match that everybody's been waiting for. This is a match that Zen's been waiting for. He's been calling out Rw9 ever since Rw9 took him down, ended his win streak. In that incredible best of 7 they played, I think almost a month ago now. But Rw9 has been super busy with 3v3. There's been a LAN in Saudi Arabia that he's been completely occupied with. And now that he's gone and won that LAN, got MVP for himself, by the way, as well. Congratulations, Rw9. He's back to 1v1. And he's off to a brilliant start here against Zen, who's currently building another win streak for himself. Oh, this is just clinical from Rw9. So 3-0 already in 30 seconds. Zen has been pushing the limit here with his offense, as he always does. Rw9 has been slotting long shots to punish him. And Zen definitely believes that he can get the win this time around. I know that a lot of you will probably want to comment on it. You know, he did tweet in anger after losing to Rw9 the first time and then immediately deleted it when he realized that, nah, that's not something I should be tweeting. That's just the opposite of what I should be doing right now. And he then tweeted congrats to Rw9 and went on the hunt for the rematch. But yeah, the reason he wants this so badly is because he thinks he can win. He thinks he's the best ones player on the planet, and he wants to prove it. So right now, Rw9 has that #1 spot. Zen's coming for him. He's the clear #2 in my opinion. Now, can he take #1 today? I think he would if he can get a win. I think that would probably put him #1 because he's been so active. The win streaks he's put up, 11 wins in a row before 1 loss to Rw9. I think since then he's got another 7 wins in a row. So just an unbelievable record for Zen that no one in the history of Rocket League 1v1 has really been able to match, and probably ever will. I'd be surprised if we ever see something like this again. Rw9 looks ready. All of that time that he spent practicing threes for the LAN in Saudi Arabia does not seem to have taken away any of his 1v1 ability, and that's not a surprise, I'm sure, to most of you. Every time Rw9 does come back, he's just incredible to watch. Oh, what a shot that would have been by Zen. Had to jump way off the backboard to strike that one. The crossbar comes to Rw9's rescue. 50 boosts left here for Rw9. Zen's got to be careful. Rw9 is trying to manage his boosts and kind of fake that he's got 12 boosts in this position. Zen might underestimate Rw9's counter-attack. He does not, though. He plays it safe, ties the game. And that was just masterful by Zen, because Rw9 in this whole exchange was really trying to disguise how much boost he had left over, and if Zen was careless in that play, if he just tried to force it straight through him, he would have run into a very, very strong challenge from Rw9. As is, Zen read the low single jump challenge, managed to go over the top of him. Great demo, Zen in the back corner. Grabs the boost as well, and possession. Lovely first touch by Zen. Air dribble commences. Rw9 is on the backboard this time. He pre-jumps and manages to stop Zen kind of by falling onto the ball. I mean, that's just next level by Rw9. That's not where you're used to seeing Rw9 positioned defensively. He tends to just stay on the ground, jump up to make saves. That time he was on the backboard. Zen probably thinking to himself, what is Rw9 doing here? What am I supposed to do against that? He's got a wide open net here. Buries it for 4-3. This game so far has been mostly about Rw9 counter-attacking Zen. Zen trying to get past Rw9's incredible defense, but now finally Rw9 makes a mistake and gives Zen easy goal on the counter-attack. Khaled had a 21 win streak around Salt Mine. Actually, he didn't. He had, I think, a 15-match win streak in Salt Mine 1. And then he lost 1 show match to Joria's, and then in Fusion he went on another like 7 or 8 match win streak. I can't remember which it was. So he almost, you know, if he'd won that 1 show match against Joria's in the middle, he would have had the longest win streak ever. But as a As I understand it, the longest uninterrupted win streak still belongs to Fairy Peak at 16. There are other win streaks that are notable in Rocket League history, like First Killer and Daniel's NA only win streaks, where they were undefeated against North American competition for, I think, upwards of 17, even 20 series at times. But during those NA win streaks, they did drop some series to EU or Middle East players along the way. Yeah, I think Khaled and Fairy Peak, well, Fairy Peak 16, Khaled 15 are the longest international win streaks, unless I'm forgetting someone. So Rw9 back in front by a goal. Game 1. The last time they played was a blowout win for Zen. This time, Rw9 knows what he's up against from the very beginning of the game. He has missed that wall shot, I believe. Indeed he has. Zen just tries to shoot it first time. Well, that was bold. And he might be in a bit of trouble off it because he committed all his boost for that. A little bit of a crossbar pinch save by Zen there, but he is reeling from the Rw9 pressure. Rw9 just testing him here. Delays a shot and makes it 2 goals to the good. Now that was, kind of Zen in a nutshell, looking to score an impossible redirect, whereas most players would just try and hit the ball to safety. Not a position on the field that Zen doesn't consider a possible goal. Any touch on the ball, he'll probably figure out a way to get it into the opponent's net. Very direct dribble there by Zen. Rw9 easily stops him. Rw9's hard hits on the ball have been impressive today. He's been absolutely booming it from distance. Sees Zen's challenge coming early. The shot doesn't need a lot of power that time. All he needed was a placement, and he did have plenty of that. Rw9 could just see Zen come in there. Zen charging in, looking to close down that score lead once again. His mind game Rw9 well here. The flick looks to be a bit high though. Well, that was an opportunity and a half for Zen, and he missed it. Still, follow-up shot should result in a goal. Yes, it does. Rw9 forces one more out of him. And Zen is rewarded with a 5th goal for himself. Big push kickoff from Rw9. Goes past Zen on the outside. Zen kind of forced to challenge here. This should be an advantage for Rw9 because he knows that Zen will challenge early and often. I mean, here he comes again. Very delayed turn there with the fake challenge. Rw9 is just playing this one out very well. Difficult to see opportunities to get past him. Again, Zen just takes a nothing shot. It's trying to force the issue here. And yeah, that'll just be game over. Rw9 knows that Zen has to dive. It's no longer a strategy, it's a necessity. When you're down by 2 in the final 10 seconds, you don't really have a choice. You just have to send it. Rw9 counters that last challenge of the game and wins with a bit of a more comfortable score early on. Does he still have Zen's number from the last series they played? Although Zen started the last series that these two played, the stronger of the two players, winning the first 2 games. Rw9 was able to win 4 of the next 5, so this makes it 5 out of 6 in their most recent 6 games. Rw9 looking like he's in unbelievable form for the rematch. Now do remember, guys, even if well, whoever loses this is not out of the tournament. I'll repeat the format a couple times throughout this match because I know people are going to be filtering in to our little pre-RLCS major content that we've got going on here. The round robin group is technically the seeding stage of the tournament for the Gauntlet playoffs. So if you're not familiar with Gauntlet playoffs, don't worry, it's pretty straightforward. The 3rd and 4th place players in the round robin group stage, so last and second last players, they will start off in round 1 of the Gauntlet playoff against each other. And then the winner of that will play against the player who finishes 2nd place in the group. And then the winner of that will play in the grand final against the player finishing 1st in the group. So it's a big deal to get 1st place in the group. You go straight into the grand final if you're able to win the group. You go into the semi-final if you get 2nd, and you start in the quarterfinal, round 1, if you finish in the bottom half. Zen looking to open the scoring. Denied what would have been a banger by Rw9's defense. That's a great low 50 by Zen. Rw9 tried to sneak in a reverse challenge there. Zen forced it under him. Yeah, you can see Rw9 coming. Whenever you've got a bit of a bounce like that, I mean, when someone's driving with the ball on top of their car, you can just drive straight into the ball. They can't see you unless they move their camera around. But that time, Zen could see Rw9. So just a small bounce was all he needed. Rw9 is starting to spot those early challenges by Zen more often than not. Zen's probably going to have to integrate some fakes into his game. Luckily for him, the crossbar came to the rescue and he was able to clean up Rw9's second attempt on net. Rw9 is getting the flip completely wrong there as Zen closed the distance on him. Both players still trying to force the kickoffs around the outside there. It's been the predominant kickoff strategy for both players. Mistake by Zen. He wanted to hide his intentions of grabbing the boost until as late as possible. That's why he doesn't flip there. He doesn't want to just show Rw9 immediately, this is where I'm going. I'm flipping towards my boost. Feel free to take a shot. But Rw9 was able to get it through him anyway. Another goal for Rw9. It's tied. You know, Zen's been showing an evolution when it comes to his kickoff game, but he's going for the same one over and over again. So here, if he wants to switch things up, he should be flipping to the right to try and counter what Rw9 has been doing. There you go. Immediate counter from Zen. Massive props for being able to figure that out on the fly. Like I always say, it's so much easier when you're watching to notice these tendencies, but Zen has just figured it out in the game itself. And now you can see the kickoff should be a bit more even. Even if you know Zen's challenges are coming, he's still so quick at getting into position. Rw9 needs to be ready, paying attention at all times. Reverse takeoff for the air dribble by Zen. No reset yet. Of course, that's soon to change. Rw9 always threatening the counter. Lots of possession for Zen in this midfield back and forth. Fakes wall challenge there by Rw9. Floor pinch from Zen. Rw9 able to retreat and cover it. And now mirrored positions. Will Rw9 also try the floor pitch? Looks like he might have been going for it. Lovely jump there by Zen to keep control, but his boost is at a premium right now. And he does not want to lose possession on the counter attack. Dangerous challenge by Zen. Rw9 with a strong 50 win. He misses the open net, but it bounces well for him. And into the back of the net it goes. Zen, you can clearly see that he just didn't know what to do with that last attack. 29 boost, not a lot of play in the ball. He was hoping that Rw9 would panic and hit the ball into him. Rw9 and panicking in defense, not things that you often say in the same sentence. Long range air dribble by Zen. Lots of boost being used here. Heavy last touch, but Rw9 pre-jump connects. Boost was stolen. Zen still in control. Again, a strong challenge from Rw9. Zen cuts in early though. That was one that Rw9 wasn't ready for. Another tie game. These guys are going completely toe to toe. You know, I think most of the ones viewers and most of the ones analysts around the world would agree that these are the top two players at the moment. It certainly looks like it with how close these games have been. 4-3. If you're watching earlier on thinking, oh, Zen's just getting destroyed in kickoffs, Rw9 is going to annihilate him. Clearly that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Zen getting a couple of very strong kickoff plays. Rw9 faked the mid boost grab. Takes the ball instead. Brilliant flick, actually. And that'll actually result in a goal. Well, Rw9 did not expect to get a goal off this, I'm sure. He's just flicking the ball to force Zen to jump, but he didn't expect Zen to miss that. If that was an intended fake by Zen, it proved to be far too risky. Another kickoff possession for Zen. Immediately shoots to deny Rw9's back corner boost grab, I should say. Fake challenge by Zen as well. You know, he's doing all of the required things in this second game to make sure that he doesn't remain read by Rw9 start to finish. He's switching his kickoffs. He's not just lunging in for every challenge. He's mixing in those fakes. A little fake reverse challenge there by Zen as well. Rw9 is still such a monster in these exchanges. This is a game he wants to play. He wants to play a controlled back and forth where both players have to read each other. The efficiency of Rw9, the solidity of his gameplay, so difficult to trump in these positions. 1 minute and 28 to go. Zen dribbling straight at Rw9. The flick will force Rw9 into his net. The second flick will force Rw9 to jump. All that for a boost steal. Rw9 remains in control defensively. Zen remains in control of the play. Another attack commences. It's a fast dribble down the field with a little bit of a bounce to play with. Full volley by Zen. Oh, look at how Rw9 has saved this though. It's very awkward to follow up. And Zen has fallen for the bait. Rw9 again looking to counter-attack. It's just Rw9 in his comfort zone, saving shots, threatening counters, and now after all those Zen attacks, Rw9 has one of his own. It's not a good shot though. Zen concedes possession, or Rw9 concedes possession, I should say, pretty easily. Again, Zen dribbling straight at him though. Not a lot of angle to play with there. Immediately jumps into the air. Has a reset for the recovery. Rw9 is staying on top of him though. Has a boost advantage. Rw9 looking to trip up Zen in the back corner. This should be a goal for Rw9. Indeed it is. Small margins, but enough for Rw9 to find an opening. Trips up Zen's recovery. That denial of the boost meant that there is no way Zen could get back to his goal. And with 23 seconds to go, he trails possibly by 2 goals here. No, Rw9 misses the open kickoff goal. Another chance for Zen. Will he opt for something a bit more all-in? Oh my goodness, what a save by Rw9. Well, Zen did exactly that. He tried to air dribble bump him, but Rw9 dodges it. And then away he goes on the counter-attack. This guy is just a different breed of defense. You put anyone else in the world in the lobby with Zen and he's scoring at will. He's making them look silly. Rw9 still has him downloaded. Close games, but it is Zen who needs the comeback. He's never been in a position like this in a best of 7. It is worth mentioning though that Zen has been 2 games down before. He was actually 2 games down against Jorias on my channel a while ago now. Must have been his 5th or 6th show match. And Jorias was only, I think, 4 seconds away from winning in game 3 before Zen slammed a ceiling shot, equalizer, and then reverse swept the series. So, Zen he's shown comeback potential in many of the series he's played in. But when it comes to best of 7s, he tends to get the good start. He tends to have the lead. The last time I think he had a trailing scoreline in a best of 7. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Wasn't it Vatira, I'm pretty sure, who had him on triple match point before Zen came back? Or was it double match point? One or the other. But all that to say, Zen has shown that he is capable of producing adaptations and producing the next gear in his gameplay to get wins in matchups like this. Like Rw9 tweeted after beating Zen the first time, "I'm not like the rest of them," he said. And that is just something he has reinforced time and time again in this series. He is a completely unique breed of player. No one can defend like him. Oh my goodness, what a challenge by Zen. It's gone off the bar. I think we can all agree. No, there are no other players in the world like Rw9. The level he's at with defensive reads, positioning, composure, I think miles ahead of the competition. And likewise, I don't think there's anyone like Zen when it comes to offensive power. I think he is in a league of his own as well at the moment. I think he separated himself from the other offensive beasts in the scene. In a game where I think most of us would say the aggressor tends to win, and that goes for any Rocket League game mode, it goes for RLCS, the aggressive team, the team with more shots, the team with more possession, the team with more pressure, tends to come out on top. But Zen, in that last game, outshot Rw9. He just couldn't find a way through. My main criticism for his offense in that last game would be the linear attack. I think a couple of his flicks and one of his bounce dribbles just didn't really have enough of an angle to threaten multiple options. This is, a repeated problem for Zen. He's going straight at Rw9. Really, the only directional change that he can make is vertical. He can't make sideways changes to the ball's trajectory. And that's a problem. You need to threaten multiple angles against a player like Rw9. You have to be able to move the ball left, right, or like Zen is doing, up and over. And that's easier said than done, of course. I mean, it's very tricky, very dangerous. Oh my days! What a shot by Rw9. I was going to say it's very dangerous to try and approach Rw9 with angles. He might just use them against you. That's a flip reset pogo from Rw9. He flips as soon as his car makes contact to the ground, and it's almost as if the flip reset, or the flip into the ball, I should say, and the pogo shot combined for unstoppable power. Clip of the day at the moment. Goes to Rw9. Zen needs to go right back to the drawing board. Because what he is doing, not working. He's not got Rw9 out of his comfort zone in defense, and he's been struggling when Rw9 applies pressure to him. Zen again, given so much space. No one else is allowed to do this, and this is why. Zen, when you give him this much space, tends to score. Of course, Rw9 doesn't live in the same world as we do. He doesn't play by the same rules. He can apparently he can give Zen space in it and still win. And that was disgusting. Flip reset mind game from Zen. He's left the ball here. That's dangerous, and it's going to result in a goal. Well, he kind of knew that he was making a risky play here. I think he understood that if Rw9 just held his position, that's probably a goal. Careless from Zen. He trails by 2 once more. Rw9 is up for this. Not a lot of boost for Zen. A great recovery though. But he's missed the ball. Oh, he wanted the counter-attack more than he just wanted to clear it. And Zen is being pushed to the limit here. See that he really wanted to dodge into the ball there. He wanted to send it the full length of the pitch. He did not want to double jump into that and just pop it clear. That would also result in his car being out of position. Rw9 has landed pretty poorly here, but Zen got stuck on the post momentarily. A better flick by Zen, but again it's high. He gets a boost steal off the back of this, but Rw9 has ball pressure. Another early challenge. Snuffed out. Rw9 steals Zen's back corner boost away. And yet another early challenge is easily dissected, and this is the issue that Zen has run into in defense. Those openings that he usually spots, those angles that he usually finds to surprise his opponent with his rush challenges, do not seem to work consistently against Rw9. He needs to fake so many challenges. He needs to shadow so much just to get Rw9 to back off for a split second. That's a great save by Zen, but my goodness, the thunderous strikes of Rw9 are unbelievably consistent. 4 goals difference. Again, not much of an angle to play with from Zen as he tries to set up a boost steal. I mean, is this the playstyle that you need against Rw9? His boost management is almost perfect in these positions. Even if you're stealing his boost away, he's not in a bad position himself. He seems like he's more than fine. Zen might have to go for something a bit more spicy. Indeed he does. Successful flip reset, snipes the bottom corner. You know, I think this might be the moment in the series where he has to send caution to the wind. He cannot go for half measures. He cannot play for the bad save. He's not going to get any. Rw9 doesn't know what bad save means. Early challenge again. Countered by Rw9. Zen just isn't mixing it up enough. 4 goal difference once more. He's looking for a heavy touch there from Rw9. Rw9 knows better. He just keeps it close. Immediately flicks it. He's got Zen in a terrible position. Now we are entering completely unknown territory. If down 2-0 in a best of 7 was unknown, well, this is going to be unheard of. It's not been, I think, a performance that many people would have expected. Certainly not myself. In fact, I'll be honest, I thought Zen might have the edge here because he's been on another win streak grind. He's been taking down even more players, including Daniel, Moxie, other top tier players who he hadn't played before. Rw9 has just got his number. He reads the early challenges. He does not crumble under the pressure. He's just winning. Yeah, both ends of the field. Zen looking to snipe a floor pinch, not enough on it. Or just wants to get something to build his momentum, maybe something to build his confidence going into the all-important Game 4. Yeah, it's definitely just needs some little tweaks here and there, I would say, Zen. A little bit more in the fake challenge department so that his rush challenges don't get spotted as often as this. And probably a little bit more in the all-in and offense department as well. I think that's the 2 areas I would want to see more from Zen. Because if you think about it, if you really look at what Zen's getting from his attack, from most of his attacks in this series, he's forcing Rw9 into his goal. Yes, that's usually a good thing to do in 1v1. But he's not forcing Rw9 to waste boost. Rw9's boost management is just too good. His efficiency is just too impressive. So I think Zen's either got to just go all in a little bit more and trust his mechanical ability, trust his flip resets to get the job done. Or he's got to get a bit more physical, I reckon, as well. Another option. We saw, I think, one air dribble bump attempt, which was countered, mind you. I would like to see that getting mixed in as well. Let's see if that's what Zen goes for. Not really much on here. Zen attempting to threaten an air dribble. Rw9 more than equal to it. Can Zen do the impossible? Reverse sweep needed if he's going to come back and win. In the rematch he's wanted for a long time now. Rw9 changing angle multiple times. Zen stays with him. And he slots the open net. 1-0. You know, I'm sure Zen would love to see a little bit more of that as well. Rw9 just giving him something in offense. Some kind of inconsistency. That was it right there. The good news for Zen on that play is that he was actually in his goal to make a save, and that's not something you could say a lot of the time last game. Most of the time he would just be challenging, and then the flick to take the ball past him would be straight into the net as he helplessly landed out of position. Zen's still looking composed. Flick this time again, good enough to force that boost steal. But that's about it though, and Rw9 still remains pretty comfortable in these positions, even on low boost. It's fascinating to see a player manage these awkward positions so well. Rw9 saves his dodge to counter the aerial play. I think he's missed the open net though. Not the first open net miss from Rw9 in this series. There's one mistake he's been making. Maybe that's the one. Zen wants to flip reset past him. The post denies the second goal. In it goes. That was quite a low air dribble by Zen. Had to use all of his boost almost just to get the shot off. Not the efficient aerial approach that we've become used to seeing. That's great vision by Zen. Rw9 again quite happy to give him a lot of space in the build up here. And I mean, why not when your defense is holding up to the attacker coming at you? Grind shot with a lot of pace on it there, but the boost isn't there to be stolen. Might be a little bit of a strategical misplay there by Zen. See the boost just now spawned in the back corner that he shot towards. Well, that's resulted in another Rw9 play. Oh my goodness, has Zen saved this? He has! He forces Rw9 to clear it. What a stop by Zen. And Rw9 himself drops a what a save in chat. That must feel pretty good to have, in my opinion, the best defender in the world telling you that he was impressed by your save. Zen ahead again. A low-scoring game. He's keeping himself a bit more controlled in this match. He's not giving the free goals to Rw9. Delayed kickoff there by Zen. That's a great position for him. Rw9 threatening the immediate shot though. Oh, what a shot it was. Rw9 looking to back Zen up with a fake jump and then a real flick on target. Zen managed that well. Awkward high ball. He's darted into the corner to grab the 100 boost. Rw9 misses the target. Great read by Zen, knowing that Rw9 had indeed missed this. Here comes another flick. It's not been the most powerful flicks from Zen today. We've not seen Moxie level flicking for him, but he is forcing Rw9 back and setting up boost steals. The issue is afterwards, when he steals the boost, the follow-up has usually been dealt with by Rw9. You know, if that's your offensive play from your ground game, to force the defender into the net, steal their boost, then turn and put a difficult shot on, the shot needs to be difficult to save. For Rw9, it just hasn't been. Look at this from Rw9. Great demo by Zen in the recovery, but Rw9 putting on a clinic on how to defend against air dribble bumps there. Saving his dodge. That's what this guy does. Wave dash dribble by Zen. Wants that small win again, and he gets it. He's just taking his time. Zen lets the ball bounce twice. Rw9 takes the bait. Well, look at this. Zen gives Rw9 a taste of his own medicine. He just lets the ball bounce on the spot 2 times. If you're wondering to yourself, what is Zen doing there? Why is he letting the ball bounce? Has he not just invited a challenge? Well, yes, but if Rw9 doesn't challenge, that bounce was a bit better for Zen to control. It was a very, very high bounce initially. Didn't want to take it, so it would have been an awkward one to control. Just letting the ball bounce a bit lower gave him, I think, more of a chance to get a consistent takeoff. Brilliant defense by Zen. Rw9 now being forced out of his comfort zone. He's forced to go and win the game. He can't just wait for Zen to attack him. Zen has the lead in game 4, now by 3 goals, so Rw9 is left with no other option but to go all in. Is this the beginning of the reverse sweep? Is this the beginning of the impossible? I think Zen should be fine here. Oh, he went for boost. Never mind, he's not fine. He missed the boost as well. Oh dear. It looked like Zen had done the right thing here with the bump, but then he went for the boost. He didn't realize the ball was the real danger there. 19 seconds is doable for Zen, but he needs to get control of the ball. That'll do it. This is surely going to be game now. 5-2. Zen, a different level of kickoffs than we used to see from him. He really is a transformed man from the center circle. I'm sure that'll make you all very happy. I know you probably didn't want to. Well, maybe the Rw9 fans wanted to tune in for a sweep today, but we're not going to get one. Into game 5 we go. Rw9 with a little bit of a consolation prize there. Can Zen keep this up? Just think about how few times Rw9 had flicks over the top of early Zen challenges in this game. You know, fantastic job by Zen to completely change up his risk management in game 4. We did not see him lunging in and giving Rw9 easy goals from the midfield. So a much more patient Zen in defense. And that seemed to work out a whole lot better. And the good news about that is that now if Zen does decide to up the aggression again, it's more likely to work because he's just shown Rw9 an entire game of patient play. Rw9 needs to be on the lookout for those bursts of speed and aggression. Zen looking to force a 50 here. Rw9 denies him. There's the counter attack from Rw9 that we've been so used to seeing today. Great flick by Rw9. That will go through. Zen almost in the way of it, but not quite. Yeah, all that came from a very small play, an underrated play from Rw9. A play that often goes unnoticed, is denying the low boost player a 50-50. You know, one of the ways to level out a boost advantage in 1v1, if you're on no boost and the opponent has 100, is try and force a 50-50 somewhere into a corner so that you have time to go and grab a 100 boost before you continue playing. The 100 boost player doesn't want that to happen. They want to just keep the ball in those positions. I think if Zen has just missed this, he has. Well, nerves for both players, it would seem. His open nets have gone astray. This is technically another one for Zen. Yes, well played. He does put it on target in time. Our LCS has started. I think has their stream gone live with like a 10-minute countdown or something? I'm trying to keep an eye on that as we go through this series today. Oh, the post-pitch defense goes nowhere. Oh no. Zen had to be so careful there not to pinch it into his own goal, but he went too far the other way and pitched it nowhere. Yeah, well, we're going to be finishing up this series anything between 4 minutes and 15 minutes from now. So if we go to game 7, then we're going to miss a little bit of the pre-show on RLCS, but the actual gameplay doesn't start for another 40 minutes on the RLCS channel, so we're probably good to catch the first game pretty easily. That's why we're starting this match now and not any later, because I don't want this to run over the top of the games. Honestly, I don't really want it to run over the top of the pre-show either, but we had to start it at this time because right now is Ramadan in Saudi Arabia. Rawas, I think they start. I think for Saudi Arabia, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think that they eat their big meal of the day at what would be the equivalent of 4 p.m. in the UK. So I think that's 6 p.m. in Saudi. Is that right? 6 p.m. Then this match started at 7:45 in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, an hour and a half to just eat as much food as possible, then jump into a lobby in 1v1 Zen. That's what's going on here. Oh, what a flick by Rawas. Look at the placement. You know, if Zen is going to have a bit of more of a passive style in defense, then he's going to need to come up with a way of saving shots like this. That is unbelievable. Zen just placed it with speed. Rawas goes back for the boost he missed, still has the ball in the midfield, and look at that from Zen, not charging in. I mean, earlier in the series we would have seen him just lunging in there because there was, you know, kind of an opening to challenge. I think now he's realized that that's not something he can afford to do. He can't just send it against Rawas. Rawas is reading the challenges too quickly, he's countering them too consistently, so he has to be a bit more careful. And now we're seeing lots and lots of fakes by Zen. Another one there as he just holds on to a small boost advantage that he's got. It's about to disappear as Rawas picks up 100 in mid. The fake from Zen actually has Rawas falling over there. That's a great result for the Frenchman. You better be quick back or else Rawas is going to score. Fake 50-50 by Zen, guides the ball to the mid boost. Low 50 in offense got him a goal earlier on. He's hoping that Rawas will underestimate that at some point in the game. Rawas calls the bluff on Zen's 50-50. Away he goes to take a 1-goal lead. That's a really, really good play there by Rawas. Just popping the ball up and then flipping through it. So even if Zen did flip into the ball, Rawas had him covered. He had both of the main threats, the low 50 and the mind game, covered with one play. Rawas does not fall for Zen's pressure play there. Zen does well to control the incoming shot. Another direct dribble by Zen. Oh, and a monster of a flick. Well, both players have produced their best flicks of the series in Game 5. That is a beauty by Zen. From close range, it can be so scary to just rip a flick into the top shelf, because you know if you hit the bar, you are getting scored on. Zen slots it with confidence. Kickoff win to the outside. Zen wants to get an immediate shot on target here. Rawas shuts it down and secures back corner boost. Now the possession is his. Still so impressed by the new version of Zen that we're seeing here, the defensive Zen that has been an absolute necessity in this matchup. With how well Rawas performed in defense today, how well he spotted Zen's aggression. Zen is showing that he doesn't just have faster gears, more aggressive gears, he also has a bit of a slower one as well that can control himself, control that aggression, and ultimately look to confuse his opponent. Free flip from Zen. No chance of a demo as Rawas retreats down the line. Rawas quite happy to leave the ball here. Not a dangerous position for him. It's about to become a dangerous position for Zen if he's not careful. Tries to pop it awkwardly over to Rawas, but he lands badly. Rawas has some alone time with the ball now. Tries to delay a shot past Zen. No such luck. Zen immediately counters down the line. And now it's him popping over the early challenge of Rawas. Well, the tables have turned. In games 2 and 3, we saw Rawas countering challenges in this exact same way. Time to perfection. Zen lifts the ball over his opponent and puts it in the back of the net, and he should be okay on this kickoff. I think he's just about going to get there. Both players are really in trouble here for boost, but Rawas grabs the back corner 100. Zen with 23. Wanted a 50 there, but actually the outplay might work just as well. Rawas charges in again. Zen with almost no boost left. Surely Rawas can score. Just misses it though. Oh my goodness. And now Zen's got 100 boost in the back corner. In comes Rawas. Looking to immediately score. Zen stops him once more. Well, that was the opportunity right there. Rawas had a hugely advantageous position. Zen defended it and now looks to get the ball into the ground in 0 seconds. Rawas with one more shot. Zen hits it into his own post to get it down. My goodness, the bravery. He actually hit that downwards on target. But he knew exactly where his goal was. A second game for Zen. He is pulling off the impossible here. And he is doing it with a more defensive style than we've ever seen him use in any matchup. I mean, this is crazy. You know, when I talked to, apparently, Jack on my stream about Zen when he was playing against Chronic, Zen beat Chronic pretty easily in a show match on my channel a while ago. And I was talking to Jack about, you know, what the 1v1 IQ of Zen, asking him for an explanation of why he thinks Zen just appears to have such high 1v1 IQ despite not playing the game mode for that long. We've got to remind ourselves, he's only been playing ones for around about 3 or 4 months now, and he's already this good. Jack's explanation for it I really like, because he says, in fact, he thinks mechanical players are often underrated when it comes to how smart they are. And the reason that they're so smart is because they just have such a good understanding of what the opponent is capable of mechanically in any position. It enables them to make the right decisions, be in the right positions, and just all around have a great read of the game. And that's how I would describe Zen. He's showing here that he's not just a guy who needs to go all in with his offense to get results. He doesn't need to go all in with his challenges to get results. He does have, you know, a more defensive game to fall back on if that isn't working. Half the job done, half the job still to do. 1-0 for Rw9 in game 6 with an immediate long shot. Rw9's power shots have been disgusting today. That's something that I've been very impressed with. It's funny to notice though that his power shots on defended nets have actually been better than his power shots on open nets at times. It's the constant struggle. You might be wondering if you're a newer Rocket League player or you're trying to improve at the game, you're thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be really cool if one day I'm good enough to stop missing open nets? Well, I've got bad news for you. That day will never come. It doesn't matter how good you get at the game. You're still going to miss open nets every now and then. Doesn't matter how good you get at the game, you're still going to miss the boost. Those are things that will stay with you even until you play with perfect mechanics, decision making, and everything else involved in being a good Rocket League player. Zen threatening a wall shot there. Actually just parked in front of Rw9 momentarily there. That did not look like the right idea. Now Rw9 counter straight down the middle. Zen got in a bit of trouble there with the decision that he went for. Great save on the recovery though. Rw9 thought he could get it slotted past him. Zen is just too fast. Oh, nice shot though. So 2 long shots from Rw9. 2 goals. He just booms it first time here. Zen expected one more touch. He was closing the distance with a wave dash. Rw9 just slots it over the top of him. Simple yet effective. Now Zen's in a very precarious position. You lose one more goal and then suddenly you're going to have to play against a very defensive Rw9. And Rw9 might even be confident enough to just sit on a 2-goal lead and take no risks. That's the kind of player he is. Bump is available maybe for Zen. Decides not to go for it, plays the ball instead. Rw9 finds time to go to the back corner for boost. Zen looks to force it under him with a 50-50. Rw9 too strong. I think maybe the demo is the play there for Zen as Rw9 counter is successfully 3-0. I mean, I know he's afraid to go for it because Rw9 has had evasion 10 out of 10 today. He's been extremely elusive, difficult to bump, difficult to demo mid-air. But it definitely lined up there for Zen to just bump Rw9 out of position before he made the low boost play on net. It's brilliant control in the back corner by Zen. He's got a much better angle to approach here. Lots of different shots being threatened. Rw9 manages to cover all of them. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Zen couldn't see the opening. Look how quickly he can continue this attack though. Look how quickly Rw9 defends it. Rw9 beats Zen to the back corner boost. Half the game gone. Zen scoreless. That defensive style that's gotten him back into the series will have to go out the window in a moment. And it might have already gone out the window. He charges in and gets outplayed. Rw9 up by 4. This is just the level that Rw9 is at. The second that Zen decides to throw caution to the wind and charge in, he spots it and immediately scores. Absolutely crushing for Zen, who's been so patient. He's been so well behaved in defense, trying to invest in a future rush challenge working, and it doesn't work. Rwas puts a halt on Zen's offense, and this is just more time wasted. Zen getting to the point where he's going to need to score as soon as possible, or this will be over. Rwas has successfully knocked a whole lot of time off the clock, and you feel like this has to be a goal for Zen. And it will be a goal for Zen with the flip reset from distance. Now, if he missed this one, I think that would have been GG's. Now, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's a great kickoff for Rwas. It's in his half, but so is he. So is his back corner boost. Those don't tend to move. Zen concedes possession. Wants an interception. But with the pinch, Rwas is there to cut it off. It looked like Zen had that on target. Rwas piles on the pressure again. Zen forced into his own goal. Just over a minute to go. He gets an angle to intercept, but all for what? No shots in sight for Zen. No demo opportunities presenting themselves. He'll have to do it all with his mechanical ability, as he often does. Final minute now. Zen in desperate need of a goal once more. And he takes to the skies in the hunt for it. Air dribble bump connects, and he manages not only to connect with Rwas, but also to surprise him. I do not think Rwas was prepared for this. He's expecting an air dribble bump, and then, or an air dribble flip reset, I should say. It's suddenly out of nowhere. Zen snipes him. And that's something that's not worked all that often in the series. Oh, the little bump by Rwas, that's a goal. Zen put himself in the firing line. He didn't think this bump would really have a lot on it, but the wave dash from Rwas gave him the speed that he needed to take Zen out of the game. And now Zen's got it all to do again. Does he have any ideas left over? Obviously, he's going to need to go all in. If I'm Rwas, I'm just dribbling this ball around. You don't need, yeah, he doesn't need to do anything. He's just going to sit behind the ball. It's masterful from Rwas. And this is why it's so hard to come back from multiple goals against this guy. He is so comfortable just sitting behind the ball and letting his opponent come at him. When you've got to go and beat him, it almost makes him even stronger. The impossible task just became even harder. 29 seconds, 4 goals. Zen has dug deep here. I'm so impressed that he came back to 2 games, but it looks like that might be all she wrote for the rematch. Rwas, the only player to beat Zen, maybe twice, unless Zen can pull out a miracle. He's stuck to standard kickoffs here, trying to get kickoff goals. Might actually get one here, you know. It's a great try. Rwas saves it. GG's. Rwas shows that he has Zen's number for now. They might play each other again in the Gauntlet playoffs of this tournament. But currently, their overall score moves to Rwas 2, Zen 0. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the pre-RLCS 1v1 content today. We're going to have more of this tomorrow with Rwas against Moxie. Same start time, I believe, but I'll tweet out if there's going to be any change to that. Follow me on my own Twitter for any updates to this tournament, any updates to my own live streaming schedule. I'll show you guys the bracket really quickly before we get stuck into the rest of the RLCS content for the day. Let me show you guys the Rule 1v1 bracket that we're going to be taking a look at over the next 3 days, as well as RLCS. Right, here we go. So that was the first series out of 6 group stage games. No one will be eliminated after this group stage. The 3rd and 4th place players will start off in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. 2nd place player from groups will start here, and the guy who wins groups will start in the grand final. $2,500 prize pool sponsored by Rw9. Be sure to give them lots of love on Twitter as well. Really appreciate them for putting up a prize pool for the one scene in the middle of RLCS.